A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel this fine Friday. My name is Jedel Kabira, here for our political conversations that I do hope will build this country as we progress with William Ruto's administration. These conversations are very simple, truthful and biased with Herman Manyora, who puts them across in a hard-hitting way. He's here with me. How are you doing this Friday?
I'm good.
Form Nigani, where are you going this evening?
Sisi wazee hatuna Friday.
Carnival mliacha?
Yeah, tuliacha. That's for you people.
I saw Raila Odinga back in the country, celebrated his 50th anniversary.
He's back?
Yes, in the country with Ida Odinga.
Welcome, Baba.
And actually he met Rigathi Gachagua today in a funeral service of a brigadier, former Mau Mau brigadier. But we don't have details of what they talked about yet. But I want to talk...
really Mau Mau?
Real Mau Mau. But I want to talk about... Talk in town is from what Gachagua was spilling the beans, saying, look, they made this deal, Ruto and Raila Odinga. Tell me this, a section of Azimio people have come out strongly telling William Ruto, if this is true, what Rigathi is saying, are you in agreement with him that this bipartisan talks will not work? Should Ruto come out now? Is it time for him to come out and say, this is where we are with Raila and this is where we're going?
Let me tell you. There is an element of truth in all those, and there is a lot of fiction. And in any case, fiction is born of truth. What Ruto is saying and what Gachagua are saying in sync, they collaborate each other. And Rigathi is saying, it called him Rigathi Gachagua. Gachagua is saying what this guy wanted within government we couldn't offer. We offered him what we could. You know?
He said money actually.
Yeah, sema akitaka pesa kidogo hiyo tunaweza hiyo tukasema tutaangalia.
Yeah.
But in another sentence he says he has been sorted. So when you marry the two, it means Raila has been sorted, okay? Yeah. And when you hear what Ruto is saying, he's collaborating in terms of by way of dismissing even the talks.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, but does that lead you to conclude that Raila was given money? That's why I gave a tweet. And even intelligent people could not interpret the tweet. Yeah, they think I was asking Raila, you have been given money. I mean, I can't be that stupid.
When you said to pay our share.
To our share. I was saying many things, but there are two things I was trying to say. I was telling Raila Odinga, this is what the country believes. You've been given money. I can't believe it myself. The day I'll believe Raila can sing that law, I'll go to the village and I'll never talk to anybody. Yeah? We shall have lost everything.
Manyora in isolation.
Yeah. Number two, there is something. What Ruto is saying, and I've said this repeatedly, is to send Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka into sleep. So that Ruto joins Gachagua with the narrative that there's no handshake, there's no nusumkate, there's no coalition government, there is nothing for Raila. In fact, those talks are useless. Is that what they are saying in Gachagua?
Yes.
And Ruto is actually, when he was in Nakuru, he was supporting them. What Ruto is doing is simply applying sedative for these people to sleep. And I'm asking Gachagua, wake up, you are asleep.
But he's out here speaking the authority of
listen
the deputy
to me, and I want you to listen properly. When the handshake will happen, Ruto will simply say he couldn't avoid it. He's been pushed into it. Because all along I was with you. They have seen. He's traveling with them as they say no. As Ndindi Nyoro says, first agenda, how to disband the talks. Ruto seems to be agreeing with them. Gachagua is there. So, but finally when it will happen, because it will happen, the handshake is already in the making. It's not a handshake, it's not a coalition government, it's not Nusuboflo, it is some arrangement.
An agreement between
It will take some form.
Raila and Ruto.
Yes. And because I can say it openly here, because it's not Raila who has told me, it's not Ruto, it's my own thinking. And I'm picking pieces here and there. It is being brokered by powerful individuals. beyond Ruto and Raila. Let me tell you,
within our borders, outside.
Outside, who is in these borders? There are nobody within the outside. And these outsiders believe, one, Kenya is too important to go down. When Manyora was saying Kenya is too good to go down, you thought it was just me. Even other forces, other nations say to them Kenya is not just another country. It's not just another African country. They can't allow it to go down the way these other countries are going down. And number two, they believe the only way you can get peace in this country as of now, given the results of the election, is for Raila and Ruto to work together in some way. That the details will be worked, and the details will be determined. The form of the relationship, the form of the working together, will be well informed by the thinking in the country that nobody wants handshake.
When you listen to someone like Wamalwa, the former CS, saying like that Ruto should come out and disagree or agree with the deputy president, should they be looking at Ruto or should they go for Raila himself?
My tweet was going for Raila, and I was just advising Raila. You see, Ruto has not kept quiet. He's playing on the side of Gachagua because he's leading them to the slaughterhouse. You also do something before this narrative picks up that you've been bought. Let me tell you, that's what many people think, which is not good for Raila because he can't do that kind of thing. So I was really provoking Raila to come out. Ruto has chosen the style of leading his troops as if he's fighting with them. The hangman's trap. Wakati atakanyaga wanaingia ni chuk, anabaki hapo nje.
So you're basically saying that Ruto is betraying his lieutenants.
Yes, and it's not his wish.
So if you listen to Rigathi Gachagua, he was saying this, I think the day before yesterday, was it yesterday, saying, look, Raila ako UK, we have finished him. He said that tumemweka kwa kona already.
What is he doing in UK with KM? Yeah. What are they doing there? What were they doing there? Look, those are the telltale signs. Something else. Look at the passion, the hatred for Azimio and for Raila in particular. Look at how dismissive they are of the arrangement of the handshake and of everything. Look at how dismissive Gachagua and the rest are of the talks. If it was true, why haven't they recalled Gachagua? Nani Ishungwa? Yes, why haven't they? No, please answer me. If they hate Raila and Azimio that much, and they find the talks to be as irrelevant as they are presenting, and they are not to anything, handshake, whatever it is, why hasn't Ruto recalled his team from Bomas?
Couldn't it be because there are talks?
Why hasn't he?
Because there are talks, there are no protests. Couldn't it be that this is the simple solution of dealing with protests?
It can't be, because you would know. In fact, it will go in the opposite direction of what you are saying. The way they are talking about Raila, the talks and the handshake and everything else, it will just be a matter of time before the talks collapse and people go back to the streets. Do you think that's the case? It's not the case. Just that Gachagua is not opening his eyes. Sikula atafungua macho yake atatafuta Manyora. Ambia Manyora, you are seer.
Next move though for Raila Odinga, you are seer. They called you the prophet in 2022. But look, next move for Raila Odinga is back in the country. I'm doing a video on that because many people are getting on my nerves, saying I never prophesied anything true. So I'm going to do a video on that to tell them, please, I'm not a prophet. A premature analysis is not dismissive. You do not dismiss premature analysis when Manu is playing Arsenal, merely because Arsenal won over Manu, and you are saying, you are assessing the facts, the factors. Considering this is in place for this team, considering this and this, then Manu is going to win. You get it? It is not saying they must. That's not betting. People are confusing me for somebody placing a bet. Continue. I was asking, what is the next move for Raila? Now that he's
the first thing Raila must do,
in the country.
He must be careful with the public opinion. I want to tell Raila, people think he has been given money. That's why I was provoking him in that tweet. I was provoking Raila. I was asking them, I was telling him, I know you have not been given money. I know myself. But that's not what people think. So you must find a way of relaying the information that you have not been given money.
What's the worst though that can
He has to figure out.
that can happen? He did the same thing in 2018. Of course, some months later, that's when they came up with BBI.
Did cost him badly. If Raila had not engaged Uhuru, even if he had told his people, let's not fight Uhuru, let him do his job. These are useless government. We shall take it in 2022. He would just have walked to State House. Ruto would not have found anybody to oppose. Ruto, you know, Ruto's movement, every movement, you know, there must be some opposition for you to move. Okay, some friction. Without friction, without gravity, you can't move. That's why the guys who landed on the moon, you try to step down, you are flying there instead of moving.
Yeah.
So where did Ruto get his movement? Where was his gravity coming from? It's from Uhuru, and Uhuru was with Raila. So even if Raila just met Uhuru and told him, okay, I'm going to silence my troops, you do your business. 2022 there would have been no contest.
Okay.
So it is true even now. He has to be careful.
If you're asked,
not that he's going to win, but Raila doesn't stand for the presidency. Raila stands for an idea. He's head of a movement to change this country for the better. So his action must not be seen only in the realization of his presidential.
Do you think he still represents that, the idea and the hope that usually say he represents as a person, now that you believe that there is a deal between him with
I am yet to get evidence to the contrary. But what I'm saying is not what I believe, is what I know people think. People are getting increasingly worried that Raila could have entered into a deal, and that deal is exclusive.
Then I would ask you this, what would you hope for this deal to be all about? If you were to sit with Raila and he tells you, look, I'm going to meet Ruto, what would you hope they nego about?
You know, and this is where again Raila gets it wrong. All this speculation is from the sort of company he keeps. The people he works with, the people he puts close to him, are people who people suspect strongly are working for the other side, including during last election.
Yeah.
So if I was next to Raila and he listened to me, being next to Raila, I've been next to Raila many times.
But listening is the other
to you
problem.
Or us talking about anything. You know, I was making a friend of mine laugh. I was very close to Atwoli for like 2 years. But you know, we never discussed last year's election. He never thought I was worth anything. Maybe, I don't know. I never. Not even once.
You can't be serious.
He never sought my mind.
I was here with you and I would hear you talk.
Yeah, loudly with him. But never once. So, you can be close to people, but they are not discussing. They discuss maybe with other people, and they think you are not worth. Maybe they fear you. Maybe you can leak their secrets. Or maybe they think you are just not anything. But if I were to be Raila and he gave me my attention, I would have to tell him, you fought so hard for this country. You sacrificed so much. This will be the wrong time for you to be seen to be betraying the cause for which you fought, for which so many people have died and suffered, for which you have suffered more than any other person in this country. And therefore, it's not even the fact that you could be getting close to betraying the people. The perception, the fear that you could be betraying them. So, and therefore, you must find a way of giving the people of Kenya hope that nothing is lost. We are still soldiering on. It is difficult. We shall make some compromises along the way, but we are still fighting. Aluta continua. If you don't do that, you'll break many people.
So just look for a way to negotiate for the people.
Many people see hope in Raila. So when this talk of him being compromised, like in 2018, it breaks many people. It breaks many people. And I will tell him, Raila, it does not matter what the objective reality is. Even if you decided you can make some compromises, make sure you do not break the hope, the people of this country. And they have placed it on you.
Yeah.
It's you. You are carrying that hope.
6.9
you symbolize any hope this country
voters
has.
Last year.
It's not even many people who voted for Ruto. Inside them, they still know Raila would be the man. And many of them have even seen. And the 7 million who didn't vote. And those who didn't register. So I think I will tell Raila to be aware of the perception in the country.
All right.
And to mix carefully, to choose carefully the people he works with, who are perpetuating this narrative that is cutting wrong deals. Because any deal Raila enters into should be a deal that gives the people hope. A deal that doesn't leave the people of this country out.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in into our conversation today. Quick question for you. Do you believe that Raila can actually be paid, you know, to leave the people's side and support Ruto's side? If you didn't believe that Ruto isn't with the people. Until we do talk again, have yourself a lovely weekend.